Hello, Virgo. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right, Virgo, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is so wonderful to have you here. I'm going to go ahead and just apologize for my voice. It obviously is sounding pretty crummy. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm over the icky crud that we had for the most part. But I sound wild. I sound ridiculous. And I hope, it's not so bad that it scares you off. But, yeah, come on in. I promise I'm not contagious. All right. So we have this really strong earthen energy. We are beginning with the Prince of Discs. Okay. The Prince cards are, in my estimation, some of the most energetically potent, because you have to think, a 19-year-old kid, a 17-year-old kid, even like a 25-year-old adult kid, right? So much more stamina, vigor, just absolutely full of that life vitality, the stream of just constant inspiration and still that, wonder, belovedness for life, curiosity. Hopefully haven't had too many problems, become too cynical yet, and very excited and locked in, right? That's why, in my mind anyways, things like politics should be for younger people, because you all still have the time, the will, and the care. You're impassioned by things. And then you get old like me and you get passionate about, when the meat goes on sale, when you finally get to the bottom of all of the laundry and it's folded and it's put away. But yeah, that Prince energy, when we have that and we have it aligned with the discs or the earthen energy, we know things are moving in our physical world, the Malkuthian sphere, right? That earth, waking life, consensus reality. And to have that Prince energy there, it tells me that there is work that is beginning, there is work that is being, done with great passion, with great attention. All right. So if you are new to the channel, I want to say thank you so much for being brave and clicking on something. You might not even know what a tea leaf reading is. But if you are returning, I want to say thank you for coming back. So nice to feel your energy. And if you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. If you have a prayer request, you can put that in the comments, definitely. Or you can email me at ulaishere@gmail.com. All right, I want to start. Let me get my stick here. I'm trying not to get in front of the camera too much. Slowly creeping into it, right? And letting you see more and more. Maybe you can see the side of my head today. We have the wizard right up here. And you can see the body, the staff, the little hat. Now down here we have a person that looks like they are kind of chasing after this bird. Okay, so to me, immediately, and behind them I see we also have a lighthouse, and we have, it looks like maybe the tail of a mermaid or something like this. It looks very much like a fishtail, and it's jumping into the waters, okay? So I almost feel like you've been drawn into some kind of, I'm not going to say like a scam, but like maybe somebody who's misrepresented themselves. You've been drawn in emotionally, you've been drawn in socially. I feel like usually, I mean, I know, we Virgos are really good at reading people. We're definitely not easily lied to or, misled. Even if we don't know exactly what the thing is, like what's wrong with you or what you are hiding or whatever, we absolutely feel something is off, period. Right? This case, though, it feels like the person that you have interacted with is a real master practitioner of deceit. They are the wizard in this scenario. This is a person who has built an entire illusion. Their whole world is, just completely painted with facade, right? It is, I would say that it's not somebody that's like so grandiose where they're like, making up lies that are hard to believe. No, this is like a true, not chameleon. It's not a chameleon. It's like somebody who fully just lies about like things that don't even make sense. But I feel like they're almost like they believe it themselves, if that makes any sense to you. I almost feel like they just live in a state of delusion, and maybe their way of getting people to believe them is that they have to believe it themselves. But I don't think it's like, oh, I'm a, bazillionaire and I own 20 yachts. Not like this kind of show-offy liar type of person. But what it feels like is somebody who is just mundane. Like they lie about where they went to school, but like where they lied about going to school is like a state college. You know what I mean? Like it's like, I mean, nothing wrong with state college, of course. I'm not trying to, put anybody down here. If you went to school, like big ups to you. Hopefully, you've gotten your student loans taken care of or, forgiven or whatever they've done with those things. But if somebody's going to lie about going to school or college or whatever, you would think that it would be something like a university at least. I don't know. But I do feel like you are coming into an understanding about this person. Like something has happened where you saw just the edge of the thing kind of rolling up. And now this is a mask. This is indeed. And you look over and you realize their whole life is full of props. Everything that they're about is like a role playing, like a theater, and it's hard to understand. Like as Virgos, it's hard for us to understand when somebody will put in so much work to keep an image together when they could just be actually doing the thing and really be in the same place. Like, this is like, I don't know. I mean, I guess this is a real simple example, right? Somebody they're beautiful, they're amazing, they're, a human being that is attractive, and yet when they like put up pictures of themselves, they like use these wild filters where you can't even tell what they actually look like. And you're thinking, why would you hide all that? I mean, listen, we all have our own reasons. You know, I'm just very generally and vaguely using this example because it's so nuanced, of course. But it's hard to understand, right? Or you change your appearance in a photo when, you know, you could be like just doing the thing. Again, I understand because I've been on all sides of this. I've done the filters. I've edited the pictures. I've, you know, now actually done some of the work for myself. And, you know, as a Virgo, when we see somebody dwelling in an inauthentic place, it makes us very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. And I think a lot of it, too, is just, like, we're very, like, yeah, we're going to, like, look at the situation. We're going to analyze it. We're going to kind of weigh things out, figure it out. You know, we're detectives by heart, you know. But we're not judging. Not like people might think. You know, I'll peep game, but I don't necessarily have any, like, stock in the thing. I'm not going to judge the thing. So when somebody comes around and they go beyond just putting their best foot forward, right? And like showing you their, you know, most polished personality. Yeah, that's fine. I don't think that bothers us. But when you come in and you have like a whole false world going on, you better believe we're feeling uncomfortable. It's not, I don't think we choose to be around people like that. So when one sneaks by, doesn't that feel wildly but like a betrayal? I mean, maybe it is to some degree, but like, I feel like you are in a place where you're questioning, and I'm sorry, I'm going to keep taking drinks here. Got to get my waters. Yeah, you're questioning your sanity, maybe questioning, like, how could this have happened? What did I miss? You're going over, like, all of the signs and the moments and the scenarios, and it's hard to see where you would have known. So I'm wondering, what is it? What is it this person has been lying about? You know, and the bird flying away, here's the other thing. I feel like you have maybe fallen in love with this person. You have opened your home to them. You've become good friends with them. If it's platonic, if it's romantic, it doesn't really matter. I mean, a betrayal is a betrayal. But I feel like for you, there is this great regret in expressing a deep connection with them. Because you were vulnerable. You were open. You were heart to heart. And to be betrayed this way, to not have felt that something was off, I feel like this is like spiral inducing kind of, situation. So I really feel like, it obviously, if you haven't detached from the person, if you haven't pulled back, that's number one. Number two is you have to just really, really, really activate that radical self-love. Taking care of yourself, allowing yourself to feel your feelings, trying not to judge yourself, and, just tightening up, lock down all of your life. If you have to go off the social medias, if you have to take a break, if you have to change your phone number, whatever it is, whatever makes you feel better and safer, do it. That's my advice. I'm not one that's like, just sit in your discomfort, no, take the actions to make yourself feel more safe in your situation. Absolutely. Okay, let's see. And we might come back to that, but I don't want to dwell on that too much. Okay. So it feels like, now we have the dragon. Yeah, last year, 2024, was the year of the dragon. And we have a person over here, and to me, it feels like finally getting some closure on something that happened last year. I kind of feel like it's something that like came out of nowhere. It happened. And then you didn't really get any kind of information about whatever this was. I honestly believe that this was maybe somebody leaving your life, maybe going no contact, ghosting you, disappearing, whatever. I do feel like they will return. And I think that you'll have more clarity about why. Why did they just up and disappear on you? Now, I feel like probably you've come up with some kind of narrative in your head that, like, you know, really, like, it's your fault. You did something wrong. You were, you know, whatever. You were too pushy. You were, you know, not engaged enough. You were, you said things a little too, you know, directly, whatever it was. And I feel like you've gone over it over and over and over. But here's the deal. I don't think it had anything to do with you. I feel like something went on with them where they had to retreat and really probably work on themselves. I think that's probably. But I feel like when this person shows up, you do have a lot of like resistance to allowing them back in your life, which rightfully so. If somebody just up and dips on you and doesn't even tell you like, yo, like, you know, I'm not feeling great. Things are really going wrong right now. I need to like kind of withdraw. I need to do my own thing. You know, I'll hit you up when I'm ready. I'm okay. No, they just disappear. You know, and that's not uncommon in the world we live in now. Now, I'm from, you know, before cell phones. I'm old. I remember when, you know, you would call your friends to make sure you got home okay, or they got home and you got home, you know. These days, people will just, like, dip out and you have no idea. The only way you know they're alive is because, you know, the little green lights on Facebook or, you know, Instagram or wherever you chat. And, or you're sending messages and you can see that they're being read, right? So I feel like for you, it's kind of like, man, I'm all about the communication, all about like making sure that the people I care about are good and really want to have that energy returned. So I feel like when this person shows back up, it's going to be your instinct to be like, dude, kick rocks, you know, where have you even been? You know, so, but I think, you know, I'm of the mind that I would just probably not even open the message. But I do feel like something did go on with them that is legitimate. And I feel like you should give them at least, you know, a little room to explain. They might not have a good enough explanation, but I do think that you need to give them a chance. Okay, coming from Mama Lenor, I am telling you, give this person a little bit of a chance. A little bit of a chance. Do not get petty and meet them, you know, with the same energy that they like left with, right? So, yeah, I do. I think that this is going to be, you know, ultimately something you are happy that gets kind of resolved in your mind. Okay, so we have a sword. We have the number 8, we have a sword, and then we have the goddess. And there is the goddess, the sword, and the 8. We also have another 8 over here. So 8 seems to be a really lucky number for us. And this looks like a cliff, like the rock face up here. And then a person planting a flag up here. So to me, it feels like you have really, in this last year, maybe last 6 months, maybe even the last 3 months. I don't know. It feels like a substantial amount of time. And it wasn't easy. I feel like you finally, after many years of trying and quitting, you have gotten into a mental space where you are really finding your consistency. You are really finding your drive. You are doing things that you used to hate doing, and starting to really enjoy them because you have pushed yourself to continue. You know, it's like when you start working out, right? Those first couple weeks or even a month or so it's hard. You know, it's hard to get the motivation if you're not in that routine already. Do you really want to get up and go for a run? Do you really want to get up and, cycle or row or whatever? Probably not, But if you keep showing up for yourself and doing the thing, at some point it gets easier. And then after that, you might even start looking forward to it. And then after that, the days don't even feel good unless you have done some kind of intentional movement. And so I feel like, much like this example, you have been building upon your resolve. You have been conquering any kind of procrastination, the walls that you build up, the distractions, the excuses, whatever it is, right? We all have our weaknesses. We all have those things that get in our way. Some of us, like myself, we have all of them co-occurring and, trying to chaotically, stop me from doing things I need to do. But, right, we push through. And I feel like you are coming to one of your goals. Now, I don't know that this is like a star level goal, like a life goal, a dream being met, but I do feel like this is a goal that is noteworthy. And so I want you, I need you, I must have you celebrate yourself, okay? Go and do something nice for yourself. Go and, get a treat, or go for a nice walk, take yourself to dinner, whatever it is. I don't know. Whatever you find a little happiness in. Take a nap. I don't know. Let the kids have the screen a little bit longer today, so that you can have a few more minutes to yourself. Whatever it is, okay? I want you to celebrate yourself because you've been working hard. And the biggest part of it to me is that mental aspect, right? You are getting out of your own way. Now, the goddess energy. I feel like as you are rising in your own life, so is your intuition. So is your ability to really kind of get into the flow of things. When you come into a place, you immediately feel the energies. You notice all of the people. You notice where things are placed. You know how, the smell makes you feel. Like all these things, right? And you know exactly how to enter the stream. I know that sounds wild and maybe it doesn't make sense, but to me it does. Sometimes we go to places and we feel super uncomfortable. Immediately, it's like we don't feel right in our bodies. We don't know where to stand. We don't want to turn our back to the door. You're just put on high alert, right? And then there are other times where we walk into a place and we just know. We know these are our people. This is where I belong. I feel comfortable in this space. I feel like I can be myself. I can, speak to people and interact or, find a place that eases your soul, That's what it feels like, easing your soul. So I feel like all of this is coming together. Now, it is kind of like a duality between this ease that is rising in you and this problem with this person who, I mean, I feel like they just are completely not who they said they were. And that's so like disruptive to the psyche, right? And then having somebody else return at the same time, it might really make you question how well you know yourself, or, you know, how well you read the world. But I do feel like this moment where you're forced to look at this will be the key that opens the doorway to getting into that intuition, right? I don't know. It all flows together in my mind. Now let's go ahead. We're going to... Okay, so I'm just going to spell this S, lowercase e, and then we have an X. So, I know, like a child, I giggle, I laugh. Yeah, I feel like you are coming into a place of, pleasure. Hang on one second, I'm taking a drink. A place of pleasure, a place of feeling very much in your body. And I feel like this is definitely that earth energy. But it seems that you have an intense attraction to somebody. I think that this is like a crush situation. If it's within your relationship, it feels kind of like a renewal of excitement, of wanting to be together, see each other, just like things have gotten into a really nice flow between the two of you. Now, it could be that this is somebody you're dating, or, like I said, somebody that you're just really crushing on. But I feel like it almost feels intoxicating. I feel that you are very much in your body. You're feeling really good in these ways. And this kind of unifying of two attracted people, but also there is a sense of intense love. I almost wonder if this is not your partner because it almost feels like there's almost kind of there's like a pause before you express your love. Like you don't want to say I love you, but you say it in so many other ways. So I wonder if this is like a crush, or if this is somebody you have like an emotional attachment to. It feels very mutual though. I mean, it's, there's an electricity between you that it's like butterflies in the tummy, right? In the tum-tum. So I do feel like that's something very nice for you. And, just enjoy it, I guess. I mean, I don't know what to say. Protect your heart. That's not really... When I was going to say that, I don't even think it's necessary. I just feel like this is a person that's like your best friend, your beloved, and your lover. Maybe a spouse, maybe a significant other, maybe not. I don't know. But I do feel like, yeah, it's just like this like, I want to say I love you all the time, but for some reason you refrain. I don't know. If you want to tell me all of the deets, put it in the comments. If not, if you don't want to out yourself, you can email me. I'm nosy. I want to hear about people's relationships. I love it. Okay, so we have fish. And we have the number 2. So there's also money. Okay, there's money in here somewhere. And I want to ask. We're going to ask the oracle. the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. And we're going to see, where's this money? Where's the money at for us Virgos? Where are we going to find our monies? Okay, so we have Coral. Coral Control. Friendship. Romance. Ooh. Indecision. Detachment. Oh, Lord. What is going on, Virgo? What are we doing over here? Inspiration. Charity. And one more. Resistance. Okay. We're going to work it backwards. So we have resistance, okay? We have inspiration. We have a charity. Romance, indecision, detachment. So I feel like this is... Gosh, are you in love with a friend? Are you in love with your friend? Are you in another relationship and you actually are in love with like your best friend or something? Let me just say, this doesn't pertain to me. I'm just putting it out there. You all know my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. He is me only friend. So when we fight, the only person I want to hang out with is him. I'm like, can you believe this guy over here? You know, saying it to him, right? So, Coral Control Friendship. I feel like, you know, if you have a relationship already established, it just feels like it's not in a good place. I feel like there's a lot of fighting and maybe some jealousy, maybe, you know, plays for control, if that's financial, if that is, you know, controlling you emotionally, physically, whatever, okay? Now, nobody can control us Virgos, right? We're really, really willing to compromise and figure out how we all can be happy usually, but nobody's gonna, like, run us. That's for sure. Now, you have this friendship, okay? I wonder if there is kind of a romance in that area. I think that leads to indecision and detachment in this relationship that's established. Does that mean you're separating? Does that mean you're not going to work out? Not necessarily. You might be going through a lull, you know, and you're feeling vulnerable and you have this like attachment to this other person. Doesn't have to be romantic necessarily, but you can have romantic feelings come up. Does that mean that it actually is for that person? Probably not. I would think that it's most likely a coping mechanism. Feeling lonely, feeling isolated, feeling alienated in your relationship. So yeah, you're kind of projecting romantic feelings on a friendship. Possibly, or a crush, or, you know, some idealized person. Does that mean you should act on these things? No. And I do feel like there should be resistance there. You know, there needs to be resistance. Now, I do feel like as you work yourself through this, which this will be a big focus in your life, getting things back on track. You know, if that means you stay together or if that means you break up, or, you know, maybe it is that you are single, you know, and you're going back over these old relationships or whatever it is. I feel like for you, coming into a balance is the biggest thing. Not making a huge decision, not like a forever, I'm never going to be with anybody ever again, or, you know, I'm absolutely getting divorced or whatever. I think the big thing is to just kind of pump your brakes, find a healthy distraction. This is where I think charity comes in, being of service to others. And I think this leads to inspiration. Okay, ultimately, working through this little emotional flare-up or whatever's going on, I feel like this is going to empower you. And I also feel like it's going to allot you the opportunity to be making that extra money. That might be like you go volunteer somewhere, you start meeting people, networking, and suddenly you found like an opportunity for a new job, something like this. So follow the coincidences, follow the synchronicities, because they will be showing themselves to you, okay? Now, we're going to go ahead. We're going to do 3 lucky numbers. 82, number 82. Number 66. And number 8. Number 8. I told you 8 keeps coming up. All right. Well, Virgo, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right off the top here, I love you. And I hope that you had a nice birthday. We have the new moon in Virgo this weekend, right when the equinox is happening. So I hope you all are setting your intentions. It is a good time to be cleansing your homes, blessing your doorways, your sleeping areas, the places that you cook, the places that you leave your waste, all of that. Praying over it, cleansing it out, decluttering, and setting your intentions. Not only your financial goals and like the things that you want to go do and see and feel, but also setting our spiritual goals, right? Setting goals of rest, allowing ourselves to be reasonable, to be logical about the things that we're planning for ourselves, not overbooking. The holidays are coming soon. Preparing for that in a way that is realistic. Giving yourself that gift, right? I know every year I'm like, I'm only spending this much money and we're not buying any presents for adults. It's only for kids. And I'm not going to, host like 3 things. And then guess what? It all goes out the window. Not that I have like a ton of money to be spending, but, we have a tendency to go a little overboard sometimes, especially when it's planning events. But I do feel like this is a wonderful year for us all to give ourselves the gift of, being realistic about our situations and not putting too much stress on ourselves, that ease is like the biggest gift you can give anybody and yourself. So, let's work on that. That's what I'm working on. You heard it here. These are my intentions. Anyways, I love you. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, go ahead and do that. It helps the channel a lot. Other than that, again, I'm going to say I love you. We'll talk soon. Good night.